So, let's have a look at the US elections. And let's turn the sound off of my phone. There we go. So, US elections. Will Biden win or will Trump win? It's a difficult one. And the reason why you can't really say either way, he's never been a popular president by the typical way that we can think of. Like he's never really been above 50% approval rating. I think he might have reached 52%, but that's it. That's as high as he went, and that is catastrophic. But you can never, and I mean never, underestimate the Democrats' ability to ruin things for themselves. Just the level of incompetence within that party is unbelievable. Unless they're fighting progressives in their own party, excuse me, then they show teeth. But when it comes to being opposition to Republicans, they tap out every time. And the last election actually is a good example of this, because Hillary won the popular vote. She won by like 3 million votes. And they said nothing. They didn't make a fuss about it at all. You know, you think, okay, well, 3 million people voted for Hillary more than Trump. But Trump still won because they have a backward-ass system. And then we have to take into consideration the type of person that Trump is. Now, Trump is just an awful, awful human being. You can't honestly listen to one of his speeches, a full speech, and think, yep, that guy knows his stuff. That guy knows what he's talking about. He's a smart cookie, that one. Trust me, I've listened to enough of his speeches. The man is a fucking moron. And even without him being possibly the dumbest person you can think of, he's mentally not fit. He's mentally not fit enough to be president. The fact that he's not been removed from office is a testament to how pathetic the Democrats are. I mean, you just look at the whole impeachment fiasco, incredibly broad strokes. They should have made it very clear. This man went to a foreign government to get dirt on a US politician. The president went to a foreign government to do that. I mean, I don't think it quite counts as treason, but it's pretty high up there for the president to go to a foreign government. But they're not doing it because that's how pathetic they are. Also, if we look back to Al Gore versus George Bush, Al Gore won the vote. Al Gore, by every single measure, should have been president of the United States. But part of the votes came in late, and because they were still waiting for votes, Fox News just declared Bush the winner. And Democrats said nothing. Nothing at all. Then you look at the type of candidate that Biden actually is. Now, I'm not a big fan of Biden, but in this race, it's an absolute disgusting monster who throws children into cages, who says that veterans are losers and suckers because they died. A man who, very likely, words from his own sister, said he paid someone to take his exams because he was too damn stupid. A man who went bankrupt owning a casino. A man who set up a charity to help children with cancer and then took every penny for himself and his spoiled bastard kids. That kind of monster against Joe Biden, who should have tapped out of politics when Obama tapped out, realistically. Jesus Christ. And when Biden goes on TV doing these live interviews, I mean, he's a wide open target. Because again, I don't think he's mentally with it enough. He's empathetic to the point where he's empathetic to anyone who's in the room. And he'll do things from a place he sees as good. I genuinely believe that. He'll be surrounded by morons and monsters, but he'll be a damn sight better than Trump. Trump, who has nearly started World War III at least 3 times in 4 goddamn years. Christ almighty. But then we have another factor thrown into this. The fact that Trump has said that he might not even accept the results. Now that should be a warning sign. That's something that the Democrats should be throwing all over the place. Trump has said he will not respect the US Constitution. But they won't, because they're pathetic. So there's a lot of factors. It's not just coming down to simple votes. The votes work against the Democrats to begin with. Mail-in ballots won't be counted for maybe a day, maybe 2 days, maybe even a few days till after the election. Those numbers just won't come in, not in time. You've had all of these things that favour the Republicans, a feckless opposition, a failure of a candidate. He's been caught time and time again rigging the system even more. He even recently said on TV, hey, maybe you should even vote twice for me. Okay, that's election fraud. Democrats are doing nothing. But he's deeply unpopular. So it's not a certainty that he'll win, because he is unpopular. It's just he's against a puppy. He's against a puppy. He barks like a little bitch because Trump is the typical bully. You smack him down and he won't even look you in the eyes. You look to see how he is around Putin. Putin doesn't put up with shit from anyone. So Trump bows down like the bitch he is. Trump goes after people he knows he can attack, he knows won't fight back. It's interesting to see him or see the lack of attack he does on AOC, because AOC will fight back and Trump can't handle that. But the Democrats as a party are pathetic. So you can't really say either way. It's not a guarantee. I couldn't say Biden will definitely win because there's so much stacked in his favour. But I can't say Trump will definitely win because he's such an unlikable president. He's the worst of the worst. But then he might lose and just not move. And at that point, you've then got to consider, okay, well, US Constitution then falls to the army moving in and dragging his ass out in 2021. That's what it would come down to. Whether they do or not, we'll have to wait and see. So there you go. That's my very clear and concise, haven't got the foggiest with the US presidential elections. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and wear a mask.